I'm Marvin Weisman.
Mm-hmm.
This is my buddy Sar, and this is the Weedkend podcast.
That's
and
right.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing. This is episode 2. The first one is mic check 1, 2, 3. So I guess this is mic check 4, 5, 6, or something like that.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Marvin Weisman. We're in Mexico City. Episode 2 of the Weedkend podcast. The Weedkend started a few months ago. I have a radio show on La Bestia Radio, and it's awesome. And we play music, and I have guests. And we are also going to have some cool guests. We're just waiting for everyone to get back to start their activities again. Usually here in Mexico, the first week of January is very familiar, and you just stay with family. And most people here, they live in Mexico City, but their grandparents or their parents live in Puebla or Querétaro or somewhere else, and so they're hanging with their families, staying safe, hopefully. And soon we're going to go interview some cool musicians and some cool actors and influencers and people who are producing cannabis products here in Mexico, even though it's not legal yet. But they're ready, man. They're just ready and willing and able and waiting for this supposed law to come through in 2021. Do you think it's going to happen this year?
For sure. It's got to happen this year. Yes. Something's going to happen, you know. And, you know, if you look at it, like the U.S. also has something on the books that they need to approve. So whether it's going to happen, it's going to happen here and it's going to happen in the U.S. So
I think whatever happens, I know whatever happens in the U.S. is obviously going to impact a lot here in Mexico. So it's important. It's very important that the U.S. also goes through with Biden's promise of federalizing marijuana. Because I think that's going to open so many doors. It's going to allow all the states to share and be able to try each other's products. You know, because right now, as I understand, in the states, if you live in Colorado and you grow cannabis in Colorado legally, you can only sell your products in Colorado. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
I think that's going to change the whole industry when they make it federal wise, that you can ship to another state, and same here. You know, I heard that when they do approve the marijuana legalization law here in Mexico, it's going to be federal. So
that is correct. Yeah,
that's going to be amazing. I mean, to start already federal, I mean, it really helps people who actually, you know, because in the States as well, the banks haven't been able to get involved. You can't get a loan. You can't, you know, use a bank for customers to pay with credit cards or debit cards even. You know, a few have debit card, but not really. So, I mean, but still, it's coming, guys. It's coming to Mexico, and we're part of it. And that's why we have the radio show, and that's why we started this podcast. And today we want to talk about, you know, what happened in 2020 and what we expect for 2021. And we're very excited for this year. We're hoping, hopefully everybody gets vaccinated soon and these vaccines work. And we can get back to our normal lives. I still think there's going to be some things that we're not used to that we're going to have to live with and get used to. But it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of worse things that could happen, and we just have to keep, you know, taking care of each other and not go out and don't party and don't go to bars and you know, just be patient. I know it's hard. It's not easy for any of us, but we have to be patient.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been kind of weird here. No one knows really what's going on, but I see most of the people paying attention and staying home, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's many variables, you know. So, and every country is different. That's something that everyone's got to keep in mind, that whatever works in one country is not going to work in the other one. And that applies to cannabis too, you know, like exactly the same thing. You know, whatever rules they're going to make in the U.S. do not apply in Mexico, and they do not apply in Colombia, and et cetera. So, yeah, you know, I think we've always known this, you know, we're all different. So, different rules, different people. But yeah, so, you know, you were mentioning about the U.S., like, you know, 2020 was a good year for the U.S. In some states. There were 5 states that legalized cannabis. There was New Jersey, Vermont, Arizona, Montana, and I think South Dakota. And, you know, South Dakota is a very conservative state. Yeah. So for them to legalize is pretty young. It tells you where the country is going, like where the
definitely they see the potential not only of the medical side of the plant, but of, textile, books, clothing. There's so much you can benefit. You can build homes with hemp. It's an amazing plant, and it's so easy. Not easy, but you don't have to tear down any more trees. You can grow hemp, hydro or outdoors, whatever you want. And those are the trees that you use for building and clothing. We got to leave the trees alone, man. The planet, I mean, we can see it everywhere. It's changing drastically, and that has a lot to do with the climate change and a lot to do with humans contaminating. So I think, marijuana has so many benefits, and the States is a big example, and that's why they started legalizing all these different states last year, getting into the cannabis industry.
Yeah. One of the things that I would like to see grow more is like clothing, cannabis clothing. Well, hemp clothing, I guess you can call it. Like, cotton, like even mixtures between cotton and hemp. Like that's definitely going to be something that I look forward to, especially here in Mexico. There's a lot of textile like states. There's states that they just make like shoes, or there's states that just make like clothes. So I think they're going to be winners if they actually legalize here. Well, once they legalize here in Mexico, and once they do it right, if they prohibit a bunch of things and make all these rules that are really hard to be under, it's not gonna grow.
Look at that! I didn't know it fit there. That's good. I like this, man. Who made this?
Cannabisland.
Cannabisland.
You can get him cannabisland.com.
Awesome,
Marvin,
dude.
for those that are listening to this, he's talking about the tray. He has a wooden tray for his
this is nice,
accessories.
Man. Check it out, man. Let me put this right here.
And actually, this wood is it's called, I forgot. Salam. It's called salam. It's a tree that grows in Quintana Roo.
This is beautiful, man.
Yeah, and it only grows there. So and it comes from
we're going to have to get
good
one
forestry.
of these custom made for the Weedkend.
Yeah.
These are gorgeous, dude.
Oh, they're coming.
And the wood is awesome. You can tell it's. I've worked with this wood before when I've done projects like the Corona Sunsets I did in Playa del Carmen, where we had to build a lot of CNC and a lot of furniture. And obviously, Playa, Cancun, Quintana Roo, this is the trees that you get over there. And it's beautiful. It's awesome. You can make anything out of this wood.
So actually, let's talk a little more about that. Let's talk about what you used to do, man. Like, what were you doing before coronavirus?
Well, before coronavirus, I actually, when I got to Mexico 11 years ago, I was working in production. I started working in concerts, festivals, organizing from audio, video, lights, staging, bathroom, security, the whole 9 yards. And I did that for a long time. I actually also worked I had a steady gig at a theater for 2 years. And I worked in production. When I moved, I first came to Mexico City, and then I moved to Cancun. Mm-hmm. And when I moved to Cancun, obviously I kept doing production over there. And
what years was this?
I moved from Venezuela to Mexico in 2009. Mm-hmm. And I must have moved like 2014, 13, around there to Cancun. And I kept doing festivals out there. I did the BPMs, I did the Corona Sunsets, worked in some hotels, but I couldn't handle the heat. I missed my concrete jungle because it's gorgeous out there. The Riviera Maya is, wow, everyone should go at least once in their lifetime. And not to Cancun and stay in an all-inclusive. You can do that, but leave the hotel, man. I mean, go to the ruins and go to the cenotes and all the different beautiful beaches and little towns like Playa, Tulum, and you can go to Xcaret and Xel-Há and Holbox. It's really beautiful. Yeah. And I spent
And actually, for those who don't know, the Corona Festival and the BPM were big events that happened. I don't know, how many days was it? Each event?
The Corona Sunsets was only one.
Oh, it was only one, okay.
But the BPM was the biggest electronic music festival there was in America, I think. It lasted 10 days, and you couldn't book a room in Playa del Carmen unless you were booked it a year in advance. And it was everything from Cancun, Puerto Morelos, Playa del Carmen, Akumal, and Tulum, packed.
Yeah.
No one could fit. Every nightclub had a famous DJ. Plus, then you had the beach clubs during the day. or during the night. And then you had parties in the jungle for 10,000 people where you had to actually build all the stages. And it was crazy, man. It was insane. And from Carl Cox to Solomon, all the Richie Houghton, all the great big names in techno were there. Marco Carola. It was amazing. I would send my buddies flyers and they're like, I hate you, dude.
I think I went on 2011. I think I went there, or 2012. I don't remember. But I didn't know anything about this, dude. I just bought the ticket and I went there. And when I got there, it was like before the first day.
Yeah.
And I started looking for hostels and hotels, and they're like, no, dude, this is full. So I had to end up staying at a hotel on the rooftop. I had a tent, so they let me put the tent up there. And they still charged me full price, dude.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck you. And they were like, well, you want to stay or you want to live in the street,
You were like, should I stay or should I go?
So I stayed there for 2 days, and then I found a hotel. But yeah, it was packed, dude. Everything was packed. And what you were saying is like, for those who don't know, like back then they came out with this app. This is 2011, so this is.
Oh no, then it just got better, dude.
Yeah.
But go ahead, yeah.
But they came out with this app, and like you say, like they were like, oh, all of a sudden, like an hour before the event, they're like, oh, we're gonna have this DJ, this huge DJ from Europe, in like on some street or in some jungle or in some like event center.
Yeah, what they had, those were like pop-ups.
Yeah.
Pop-ups. It was really cool because you had your calendar and you knew what you could organize yourself and say, oh, okay, I want to go to this and that and this and that. But all of a sudden, like you say on the app, it's like Richie Houghton and Dubfire at the taco shop, and it's like, what?
I think I
and
went
it's
to
a
that one.
taco shop. Yeah, that was so popular that they repeated it every year.
Okay.
It was always Richie Houghton, and then he would invite someone else.
Yeah.
And I did Dubfire, Richie Houghton. Oh man, it's crazy. I mean, I worked there, but I saw how much fun people had, and it was an amazing experience. They moved it to Europe and I think to Costa Rica because unfortunately the last year we had some problems here. Let's not talk about bad things, but yeah, they moved the festival from Mexico, which is very sad, but true. And that was a great experience. But then I decided, like I said, I really miss my concrete jungle and my close friends and the traveling and doing festivals and all that. And I moved back to Mexico City, and I've been back for a while. And now I'm doing I opened up a tattoo place, but not mine. I set up the place and I gave him the keys, and it's operating there in La Condesa. And I'm gonna open, hopefully in March, have a nice little dispensary here. We're not going to be obviously an official dispensary yet, but we're going to set everything up and sell hemp products. Smoke shop. We're going to have coffee, cakes, cookies, so you can hang out and all that. And once it's legal, it's just fill up those jars with flour.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But people already know, and actually we're going to start doing the podcast from over there. Well, actually we're going to travel a lot. We're going to be going places, Guadalajara, Puebla, and we're going to take this show on the road, which is fun. But also here in the city, we're going to go interview musicians and take this there, and that way we can have an interview, and then they can jam, and because we love music. I'm a musician. I need music in my show. So we're going to interview a lot of interesting people, and we're going to go to them, chefs, artists, anything that's related with cannabis and not.
Spoiler alert.
Uh-oh.
We're going to be doing all these things.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to try to, even though it's going to be a crazy start to the year, we're going to try to, get a bunch of cool material so we can share with everyone and find some cool guests that want to be on the show with us and have a good time. And it's fun. I think it's going to be cool.
So, I think what I wanted to tell you guys was, if you're outside of Mexico, if you're listening to this and you want to throw a huge party like in Cancun or Playa del Carmen or even like, Cabo San Lucas, this is the guy right here. Like, this is the guy.
Anything you guys need.
You guys want to bring some bands, anything, he'll set it up for you guys. So now you know.
We will hook
Mr. Weissman. Yep.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, definitely the concert scene and it's going to take a while, because it's usually for the numbers to work, you need a big crowd, and big crowds aren't going to happen for a while.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a crazy industry for all the musicians and the producers and the record labels, and they're reinventing. I love NPR. I don't know if you've ever seen They got that tiny desk show.
Yeah. Oh,
I love that. And now they started, people sending their stuff from home, and it's these famous people with their little kids doing choruses, and it's cool, man. And I think that's going to happen for a while, because unfortunately it's very expensive to have a production, a good production, the staging, the lighting, the audio, the seats, the bathrooms. There's a lot of logistics. You have to spend a lot of money, plus the artist fee. So, I mean, for it to be able to work, you need to have 30,000 people or 20,000 people, and that's not going to happen for a while.
And on top of that, you add the risk that if you have it at the beach or anywhere, it might rain. It might, there might be something, like act of God. So there's so much risk on doing those things.
Oh, I've gone through everything, but thank God we've never had to cancel. Just once, there was these horrible winds. It was a Bjork concert. And thank God it happened when there was no one on stage, but the main screen just went and it started just like hanging. It was so scary, and the winds kept moving everything. So we had to actually move it one day. Thank God Bjork was chilling in Mexico, and she was like, "I don't care, man. I love hanging out here." Well, I don't know if that's how she talks, but she probably something like that. But yeah,
I'm cool. That's what it meant.
Yeah, in Icelandic, I'm good like that. But yeah, so definitely outdoors makes everything more complicated, not just in concerts, but when you're filming. I mean, you never know. But in the jungle, when we did the BPM, oh man, everyone was wearing bathing suits. Nobody cared. And it rains in December and January. So it was raining, even though we had like the main dance floor under this huge tent, and it was pouring and no one got wet. Still, people would dance under the rain. They were
crazy.
So happy.
You know what I'm thinking about? Like, I'm just being negative here. I'm like, fuck all the mosquitoes, dude. Like, I will die in the jungle if it starts raining, dude.
You know what? Yes. Yes, but they have these bracelets that really work well, at least for me. I mean, and you put them on, and I don't know, they like come to you, and they're like, oh, God, what is this guy stinks? I don't know what it is, but it works really good. And people, you see them all the time wearing, putting off and whatever on, because, yeah, it's definitely in the jungle, mosquitoes, rain, but
I've seen some crazy shit, like white people. When I went to Peru, and they go for hikes and they go on like treks for like a week, dude, I will see like people come back like completely bitten, dude, from head to toe, dude. Like girls, guys, and there's like, you just look at them and they just look like shit, dude. Like even their faces just like they're just like pissed and sad.
No, it's not that bad here, because you have to take into consideration you're in the middle of the jungle partying, but Playa del Carmen and all that, it's very developed. So all the mosquitoes are like, let's get the hell out of here, man. That's a lot of humans and machines and big buildings, and there's mosquitoes, but it's not bad like when you're in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, in Venezuela, we have tons of jungle, and the mosquito there is, I mean, it's like, is that a spider or a mosquito? They're huge, dude. Yeah. And they will suck your blood. It's scary, man.
I bet, dude. Even in Mexico City, there's one or two mosquitoes, and I fucking hate them, dude. At night, when they just go like... Bzzz.
Yeah, here they're like single, but they're a pain in the ass. But there's always one, definitely. And if you're close to like the Chapultepec or a big park, there's more.
Yeah.
Like my buddy that lives in front of Parque España, oh man, he needs to have always the windows closed, because if not, it gets full of flies. It's crazy, dude.
It's crazy. Whoever's listening to this and they're not in Mexico, or they've never been here, this used to be a lake, and it's actually like a valley, so there used to be a valley and a lake in the middle. So it's still humid here when, even if it's like sunny, it's still humid, even though it's not close to any ocean or anything. But there is a huge lake, right? There's lakes around here, around
Definitely.
the city.
Yeah, no. Mexico's a very cool place. People don't expect it. The city's amazing. I always compare it. I say it's like the New York of Latin America on steroids. And, we have so many amazing museums. The food is unreal. The people are awesome. Once everything is back to normal, you have an amazing nightlife. And then everything you have outside of Mexico City. The pyramids and Puebla and all these pueblos mágicos, and it's amazing. Mexico's gorgeous. It's full of beautiful people, of beautiful towns and places and cities, and every town and city and place has their own custom, traditions and their own food, or they prepare that dish this way or that way, and it's cool. And here, cannabis is huge. Unfortunately, we still have the closet cannabis community. It's amazing, you read about in Aztec, Maya, in their history, the cannabis plant is brought up. They used it as ointments or in food, and
Well, then I'm gonna say something. Actually, the cannabis plant came from Asia, and then it went through Europe, and then it came with the Europeans to Mexico. So it started like after the Conquista, after the
Spaniards came
over.
Yeah, definitely.
That's where it started coming in.
But it was amazing, and you read about it, and it was used, and back in the day, that was the shit, man.
Yeah.
Before the cotton industry and the tobacco industry and all these other industries, that was the shit. Everything was made out of hemp.
Yeah.
And you just grew it everywhere. There wasn't all the science that we have now. Now you can grow hemp that's just for construction. Then you can grow a plant that only gives you CBD. And then you can grow one if you want the psychoactive. They've really developed. But back then, they were like, dude, look how this grows. It grows everywhere. And we can make clothing and books and our sails for our boats and all this amazing shit. And then suddenly all these big companies are like, you know what, dude?
Yeah.
You pay me, I make your clothes, I give you tobacco, I give you the alcohol, and damn, dude.
Yeah, it always goes that way. I was watching a video like 2 days ago in Mongolia. Mongolia is just like open fields, like mountains and stuff. And there was this guy just filming like this huge field of just cannabis. And he's like, this is no one's. This is just growing wild. He's just here. It's just natural cannabis, wild cannabis. And it was pretty cool, dude, because it was like huge field, like just like far as you can see.
Wow.
So, that's like the natural way of, but if you look at it, they're skinny, they don't have that many flowers, they're very like too many leaves.
Yeah.
So there is a reason, well, I don't want to say there's a reason, but like, once companies need to make more money, they need to make profits, and they have to make more with one space, with the same space, then they have to make them better, right? So they have more flowers, they're bigger, they're fucking like just like animals. I like how they always compare like the old days, like the corn used to be like this big, dude, and now the corn is like big and like has like the kernels are huge. It's the same thing with
that's
like cannabis.
Crazy.
Yeah, cannabis. You look at the '60s, it was like this small,
definitely.
very leafy.
I remember when my dad came to LA to pick me up, and we drove cross country. And I was growing. I had 50 plants. I had a hydro walk-in closet with my two roommates. It was awesome, and we had really nice, beautiful plants. And my dad, when he walked in, he's like, "That's marijuana," and I'm like, "Yeah." And then when I grabbed the weed and I put it in his hand, I'm like, "Yeah, this is we're gonna cut it up and we're gonna smoke this." He said, "That's not what I used to smoke," and I said, "I'm sure." But he was in shock, and he was like, wow, it's really beautiful, when they're at the end of their growth cycle and they're full of terpenes, and it's like you see them with a microscope and it's like drops of water, and it's a beautiful plant. And he was shocked. He's like, I don't believe you, that's weed. And I'm like, this is what we're gonna smoke. And he was so shocked at how different it was back in the day. He was like, wow, I mean, this has nothing to do. He didn't even try it yet, and he was like, this has nothing to do with what I smoked.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. That was actually a really cool cross-country, LA to Miami with my dad and my two dogs, and we just smoked and stayed at different hotels and smoked, and we laughed our balls off. It was awesome.
Yeah, I imagine that movie. What's it called? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Except you guys were going to what?
To Miami.
To Miami.
We were going to Miami, and it was only marijuana.
Fear and Loathing.
Because Fear and Loathing, they got into a bunch of shit there.
Everything, dude. That's a great movie. I love that movie.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yes, it is a good movie.
Fear and Loathing to Orlando.
Fear and Loathing to Miami, to then fly to Caracas. Damn. I was moving back to Venezuela. That's what it was. My 6 years in LA from 93 to 99 were done. My student visa was over, and I was moving back to Venezuela. That's how my buddy from Austin used to call it. He said, "This is my friend Marvin. He's from crack ass Venezuela."
So wait, so you were there for 6 years in LA?
Yep.
Nice.
93, 99.
Just in school? Yeah, cool, dude. Oh, that was the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, man. That was Snoop and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, that was a good time, dude.
That was a great time to be in LA. I still got to see Magic Johnson play. Went to a game and he had a triple double in my honor. Yeah, right. I was that lucky. And then of course I got to see the Black Mamba arrive. I didn't get the Lakers championships because I moved back to Venezuela, but I was already a huge Laker fan when Black Mamba and Shaquille O'Neal and all those great teams that played around Kobe and won him all those 6 championships. You know, now we got LeBron, and he's looking for number 6 this year. I'm excited, man. Here we go.
It's right here.
Back to back, baby. Booyah!
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Black Mamba. And the GOAT. The GOAT. The GOAT. Yeah, man. It's awesome, dude. I love being a Laker fan. And, of course, I'm a Dodger fan. So last year, yes, it was a horrible year with COVID and all that. But if you ask an LA fan, at least we got something. Dodgers won and the Lakers won. I had never had the opportunity of enjoying a Dodger win because, of course, I didn't grow up in LA, so I didn't grow up being a Dodger fan and a Laker fan. You know, when I grew up in Miami, we only had the Dolphins. So I'm still a Dolphin fan. I never changed teams. I'm a Dolphin fan, but that was the only major sport that existed in Miami when I grew up. There was no Miami Heat. There were no Florida Marlins. There wasn't a hockey team. I think it's the Panthers or whatever they're called. So, you know, I mean, then when I moved to LA, this big city with all this history, you know, you got UCLA and USC and the Lakers and the Clippers. And I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And it's kind of hard not to fall in love with Laker Nation and the Dodgers. And it's cool, LA. I love it. My brother lives out there. I'm glad because I get to go visit all the time. And I'd move back. I wouldn't even think about it. I love California.
Right now, there's an exodus. Well, I don't know how big it is, but there's a lot of people leaving LA. You know, I guess like there's a lot of like problems right now, especially with COVID. But yeah, like in 2 years, dude, should be back to being much better. And you know, like we talking about the things that happened in 2020. You know, the COVID and the cannabis relationship. You know, there's a lot of studies that are going through. Mainly, I think we talked about this before, but it was like for inflammation, for some of the side effects of COVID. Yeah. So that is something also that you can say happened in 2020, a lot of research for cannabis, which was already happening, but now just because of COVID, many other like countries too started researching cannabis as far as it goes to like, treat COVID and its symptoms.
Right on. I am packing my herbal vape. I decided to vape the herb today, which is nice, while my buddy Sar is smoking a doobie. But hey, man, you can enjoy this in so many different formats. I had, during the weekend, I smoked some really nice crumble, they call it.
Yeah.
I still don't know exactly the difference between butter and crumble and wax and this and that. It all gets me really fucked up. I can tell you that.
So much. That's one thing that it gets you really fucked up.
But wow, man, it's exactly. It's very concentrated, and you just need a couple of hits, and wow, man. Yeah. But yeah, there's actually everything that I've been smoking during the last year, from like wax and those kind of extracts, is from Mexico. Mm-hmm. Because I want to see what's going on. Even though it's not legal here, people have been moving forward, investing in their companies to be ready. Yeah. And the flower that I get here in Mexico is unreal. The concentrates, like the vape, like these,
the cartridges,
amazing.
Vape carts.
There's some good brands here in Mexico. And now this wax, this crumble I'm telling you about, I got from a guy that makes it here that we're going to go interview, actually.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for him to do his next batch of extraction, and we're going to go actually interview the guy and see what he does.
Yeah.
And wow, dude. And I had compared it with a friend of mine that had some top shelf wax crumble from the States, and it was really good.
Yeah.
But this guy's ready, man. He just needs a batch ID and, to make it kosher. But what he produces is unreal, man.
Yeah.
Unreal.
So
we're not going to say any names yet because we're going to have him actually as a guest soon. But yeah, man, Mexico's producing a lot of quality stuff. And we're ready, man. We need this government to move their ass and legalize, because not just whoever's investing in this is going to make a lot of money. The government's going to make a shitload of money.
Yeah, for people that are in the U.S. or Canada listening to this, there is a thing about Mexico being in North America. Two things, right? Like, things just come through to Mexico so much quicker, so much like faster. Like anything that happens in the U.S. So what I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of people, like, also the internet, dude. The internet, like, people have internet now. They can see how to make all these things, and then they can start doing them in their countries.
Definitely.
And then
that's how he did it. He told me, I researched for the best machines, and I saw which are the real ones. I got that, and everything that I do, it's YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm only looking for pros. I see how many views and comments, and the guys, you're gonna like him, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna like him, and that's the way that's how people have been evolving here, and everything under the table, which is crazy, because.
Well, and here's the second thing: like, a lot of Mexicans, what a lot of people don't understand in the U.S. and Canada is, like, well, not even Canada, the U.S. is that Mexicans go to the U.S. A lot of them go to actually, I think the majority, dude, they go there to work and then they come back. They're seasonal workers. Yeah. So a lot of them have worked in grows. A lot of have worked in dispensaries.
That's true.
And then they came back to Mexico. So now they have all this knowledge and they just brought it with them. So, that's the other thing. Like, a lot of that came to Mexico. And it's already here, like you're saying. Like, Mexico is, they already have all the products. And there's nothing new here, The quality will go up.
Of course.
The price should come down once it grows a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's already here. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of fact to get a license, for them to come out with a licensing process so we can get a license and we can just move forward,
Yeah, for sure.
And then we can have a BPM where you can, have some fucking dabs, have some, like, cards, vape cards, like that that'll be the best, Having a festival completely legal at the beach in Mexico, like, who wouldn't want that?
That would be awesome. Oh, man, we'd sell so many tickets.
Yeah.
Everyone, dude.
And not even just the business, just, like, chilling, like, up in the fucking, at the beach, like, nice weather, people from all over the world. Like,
definitely. How it's
and everyone's
supposed
happy.
to be.
And, no one's getting fucked up, like, drunk. He's like, no, everyone's just, like, vaping,
But still, dude, when people want to party with techno, they want their MDMA gel. No. Okay. Sorry, this is a cannabis show. But it's true, man. It's that's one of the main reasons the festival had to leave Mexico, because there was such a big drug movement inside of the festival that got out of hand, man.
No, I remember when I went, dude. It was crazy.
I'm not complaining, but it's crazy, man.
Everything went, everything goes in those places.
That's why I say, you know what? Legalize everything, dude. If you legalize everything and you actually put science behind everything, maybe there's a bunch of shit that they're going to say, dude, there's no way we can microdose heroin or cocaine. It's out. I don't know. But if they legalize everything and you go to a place and you know what you're buying, and it's like, that you're not going to OD on it, then, hey, man, bring it on, dude. If someone wants to OD, go OD. They're going to do it anyway, man. Alcohol's out there, tobacco's out there, drugs, everything is out there. So whoever wants to OD is going to OD anyway. They should just legalize everything, but the right way. I'm not saying tomorrow, just legalize it, everybody's going to die. No. I'm saying do it the right way, study everything, and let's fucking let people decide, dude, the same way that we've made decisions our whole lives.
Yeah. Like, nobody knows how many people have OD'd when they didn't want to do that. They were just like, hey, I always take this much. They did it, and it was like dirty, whatever they had. It was full of, like, I don't know, some chemicals, and they fucking died, dude, even though they didn't want to do that. There's so many reasons why it should be legal. Taxes, social things, and even, like, the health aspect of the users. The users need they also need a quality product, dude. Like,
of whatever they're gonna take, dude. You don't want all these junkies, dude. Then legalize it, like you're doing with cannabis, dude. Let's get some good scientists. Let's get some good research. Let's get some good facts and proof of what's good and what's bad. And I think that's the way that it should be, because that's why there's so much problem with drugs. Because it's all taboo. It's all, no one knows what they're shooting in their fucking veins. No one knows, when they're smoking crack, where the fuck that came from. So, that's why there's so much bad shit out there, because it's illegal.
Yeah. I think that's what we can go forward with, right? 2021, things make sense now. Hopefully they can legalize more and more countries, and then they can start seeing like, okay, it wasn't that bad. We fucked up. We had this war on drugs. Like, now let's move forward. So we saw that cannabis is not bad. It's not as bad as we thought it was. And, we see that, the regulations work. So then let's start doing the rest of the drugs,
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Cool. Well, hey, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm Marvin Weisman. This is SAR, and we hope you tune in to the next episode and you enjoyed this one. Leave your comments, whatever you want to say, good or bad. They're all welcome. And soon we'll have some live feeds too. That'll be fun. Yeah. So we can actually interact with the people, and they can, chat online, and we can do stuff with people all over the world. That's going to be fun. But yeah, tune in. We're going to have some cool interviews. The next one, we're hopefully going to have a cool musician. We're going to go interview him at his cool studio, and we're going to get baked with him. But yeah, tune in, give us a like, follow, share to everybody, and have a beautiful day.
See you guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.